Bethel, and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west and Hai or Ai on the east. And there he built an altar unto the Lord and called upon the name of the Lord. Chapter 13, verse 18. Chapter 13, verse 18. Then Abram removed his tent and came and dwelt in the plain of Mamre, which is in Hebron, and built there an altar unto the Lord. You may be seated in the presence of the Lord. It appears to me that Abraham was constantly and consistently building altars. Abraham must have tapped into a divine revelation concerning the building of altars. Why is it that Abraham is continually building altars? I want to talk to you from the topic, the art of altar building. The art of altar building. Standing in the historical backdrop of our text is God's desire for relationship and fellowship with his people. God's original plan was that man would share his authority and rule and not serve him as servants. This is why Jesus Christ is, as Revelations 19 and 16 says, he's the King of kings and the Lord of lords. In other words, what he is saying is, not only is he a king, but he wants you to be a king. Not only is he Lord, but he wants you to be Lord. In other words, he wants you to exercise the same kind of kingdom authority that he has in the heavens. He wants you to exercise it in the earth. The first thing that God gave man was his image and his likeness, because that was the first thing that God wanted man to have. The second thing that God did was to place man in his presence, which is in the Hebrew language, the meaning of the word Eden. Eden represents a place of God's presence. An extended definition of Eden says that not only is Eden a place or a spot or a place of God's presence, but it is also a place of pleasantness. The word Eden means pleasant. Therefore, God's greatest desire was that man would act like him and live with him. In the scriptures, the word Eden refers to a place of God's presence. In Isaiah 51 and 3, it describes Eden as a place of God's presence. So God gave man his nature and then put him in his presence. These were God's priorities. God did not establish reverent patterns, pious traditions, or religious activities in the Garden of Eden. There was simply a relationship between God and man. You see, my brothers and sisters, God is not interested in religion. God is interested in relationship. That's really the difference between Saul and David. Saul was interested in power and prestige, but David was interested in relationship. And so we hear David said in the 51st Psalm, Lord, you can take my family, you can take my house, you can take my car, you can take my barn, you can take the cows in the barn. But Lord, whatever you do, don't take your spirit. Don't take your presence away from me. There's a lot of things that we can allow the enemy to take from us. The enemy took some things from Job. How many of you know the enemy will steal some stuff from you? But the secret is, the old folk had a good